Yeah, you guys in favor of animal abuse? You are? Animal abuse? You're in favor of animal abuse?
No, we're vegan.
You're vegan? Hell yeah, based.
Yeah. That's why we had such a hard time in Puerto Rico, man.
Yeah?
It's not an easy place if you don't like to eat animals.
How long you guys been vegan?
Well, we're not we're vegetarian, but mostly vegan.
So you still abuse animals? Vegetarians still abuse animals?
Yeah, I know.
Why abuse dairy cows and
No, I know.
egg? Have you looked into like stop your abuse of them?
Yes, definitely.
But we don't eat eggs, meat, fish.
But we just went to a vegan restaurant and it was
Milk?
terrible. 100%
Are you a baby
HB.
cow?
That's a good one, man.
It's alright, man.
Like it.
Everything's fried and it's just like...
Regardless.
It's not a health food one, that one, but
You're
it's
still
good.
abusing animals.
What's a good vegan
Are
restaurant?
you against animals?
There's a bunch of them. You have seen Happy Cow?
Because with your actions,
Oh,
you're
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
yeah, we use it all the time.
A bunch of them, like Frescura Kitchen at Bayamon is healthy and good.
Ask him the place we went. Oh my God,
I just
it
told
was
him,
not
yeah.
good.
Vieques.
We like it. We like him
We were just in
100%.
Vieques. That was really hard, man. So we just bought some groceries and we made our own food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
no,
Yeah.
you're right. You're 100%.
if you're not
right.
vegan, you're an animal abuser.
I
You're
agree
still
with you.
abusing.
I agree with you. We're just.
What about you, man? Like you
Vegetarian,
used to
We
vegetarian?
are all this. He's always been. He was born and raised.
Why don't you see it as a moral obligation to go vegan?
It is. Just
No,
I'm
we
not strong enough to do
honestly.
it yet.
No, but honestly, our family is like more vegan.
Vegan is not a diet.
100% vegan.
No, it's
but-
not a diet. Vegan is not a diet. Vegetarian is a diet, but
Yeah,
When you
vegan
talk about
it's a
vegan,
moral
it's more about
philosophy. Yeah, it's
ethics.
like it's a
So we're
logical.
not using animals for anything. I got it.
Yes, a
I got you.
logical extension of human rights. We believe humans should have a right not to be enslaved, murdered. Animals should have that right too. So would you have a little bit of exploited human female milk every once in a while or no?
No.
No. Then what's?
I know it's wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
then why pay for it?
Just haven't.
Is it taste
strong enough to
pleasure?
drink
Is it convenient?
If you think of the victims, it's easy, man.
We're just weak. That's all. But we agree with you. 100%. We agree with you.
then if you, how do you justify just because you?
It's
say you're-
selfishness because
Yes.
if you think of the victims,
Yeah.
it's super easy to be
I
vegan.
agree, I
Super
agree.
easy.
It is selfishness. Yes.
So if I was selfish, would you
Selfish of
say like, okay, continue being selfish?
No, I would just
Like,
say that we are.
you're the
we're-
victim
I would
in
just
this
say
point.
We're all weak human beings, and we all try our best. You guys are right.
So the animals is not the
argument,
best.
No argument.
So the animals is not the best.
Yeah,
because
but
they're
my
still-
question is presumably you wouldn't see it you wouldn't have that same attitude in the human context. You wouldn't like every once in a while murder humans, right?
Well,
Or would you because you're weak?
Ju-
sometimes I think humans are a lot worse than animals. So I'm not.
Yeah, but innocent
Yeah,
humans.
they
Let's say
are. They
children.
can be.
Let's say we were exploiting.
Animals don't do this. This is humans.
Let's say we were exploiting children for their eggs or whatever. Like, hypothetically, would you guys pay for that?
No.
Would you see it as morally obligatory to not pay for that, right? Then what's the difference between animals and human children?
We're actually Jain. I mean, my grandparents
Oh, yeah?
and stuff. They don't eat root vegetables because they say you have to pull
Yeah,
out the whole
yeah.
plant.
We only eat
You
spinach.
don't need to kill the whole
And
plant.
we don't eat
You shouldn't
It's
potatoes
not
and
killing
onions.
in this
It
case.
Yeah, you gotta kill the whole
You
plant.
take
If
the
you're
whole
eating
plant
potatoes
But
and carrots,
the
you gotta
plant
kill
is
the
not
whole plant.
sentient.
Yeah, well,
Different to the
That's where we
animals, they are
disagree.
sentient.
That's where everything is sentient to a certain extent.
Yeah.
no, I don't believe so. Like, as science understands it, because obviously, you know, the available evidence suggests that its consciousness or sentience is an emergent property of brains, central nervous systems. Plants don't lack brains.
But if you get to the highest levels of physics, they say there's a certain consciousness substrate that subsumes everything. So everything is actually sentient, right? There's sentience everywhere. So the idea is to minimize violence anywhere you
Yeah,
can.
but even if panpsychism is true and everything is sentience, like I wouldn't see why plants would develop like pain, for example, because they can't move. Pain seems to be like
No,
something
but
to be
pain
able
does
to.
not
Have you ever
have to
read
be-
Have you ever read like the Secret Life of Plants? They have all sorts of studies.
Yeah,
Plants feel
but it
pain too.
cannot-
Not
it
a
cannot
subjective
be-
experience of pain.
Well, they measure
Do-
them.
do
with
they have a
instruments, and
mind?
They're like
Yeah.
they're apparently
They
screaming.
say that they have even proven that if
No,
you
the
talk-
point is, look, we gotta
Yeah.
eat something, otherwise we're gonna
Yes.
die, right?
Yeah.
Do we
The
gotta
idea-
eat animal
The idea
abuse?
is eat
Then
as little as you can.
we can eat
and as
something,
low
but
in
not
food as
that.
you can, right?
We don't have to eat from animal
Actually,
abuse.
as my husband is mentioning, that the religion that we belong to is the main important line is live and let live, which means extreme.
You're not letting the animals
Yes,
live when you're a
extreme
vegetarian.
non-violence, and in that comes the plants also. So, his grandparents, my grandparents, if they had to choose a potato and onion, they would choose a spinach or a cabbage, because they're like spinach. You cut the leaves, the plant still keeps coming, right? Potato, you have to take it about the root. Done. The plant doesn't grow anymore.
Anyways,
So there's a difference.
you guys are
Yeah.
brave. Keep up the
Yes.
good work, and we will be vegan.
Yes.
Don't worry
Watch
about
We
that.
will
watch
aim
the
for it.
meeting. Watch the meeting on YouTube. Let me show
No,
you
no,
the.
we know,
yeah.
we know. I've seen
It's
it all.
okay. Let's just.
Then
Hopefully
why
you
aren't you
do it-
vegan yet?
Sooner rather than later.
I'm a weak person.
Should the animals? I don't see how you can justify.
I don't go out of my
Your
way.
weakness.
I don't go out of my way to eat dairy. I don't go and
Not
seek it out.
justified.
But, yeah.
Maybe you should gain some strength and like
I know, but
think about your values
focus on the
because
rest
your
of Puerto
values
Rico,
are being
man. These
hypocritical
people, you guys
at
eat
this
so much
moment.
meat here. It's
Sure,
crazy.
we're talking to you guys right now. We just ask you to put yourself in the victim's position and stop to
Yeah.
paying for a little bit of murder. It doesn't make it okay. Even if it's a little bit, it's still wrong.
If I was like saying I'm weak,
But see,
would you say
the thing
like
is
you're
that-
about to die because I'm weak
No,
and
but-
I wanna?
But what
no,
we
no, but
use,
hear me out.
No,
hear
but
me out.
No,
Don't
but
interrupt
what
her.
we use is milk and yolk, like milk, right?
Yeah, from a
And out
cow
of-
that's not your
yes.
mother.
Wait.
No, but from a cow, we use milk, and then from the milk, a lot of things derive, like milk, cheese, butter, yogurt, all the things that come from the milk, right? So, the thing is the same philosophy. We don't need to kill a cow in order to derive milk. What we need to derive
You do
is,
actually, by the way. Can I interrupt you really quick? So, even if it was the case that you didn't need to kill them, it's still exploitation, right? You're still
It
bringing
is.
you're bringing
Yes,
these beings into
exploitation
existence.
is different than
Yeah, it's wrong.
than killing the cow. Like
Yeah,
when you kill the cow,
You're
for me,
commodifying the
yeah,
cow.
right?
You're commodifying.
Yeah, so the problem with dairy products is that it's the exploitation. You're breeding these beings into
Yes.
existence through sexual
Yes.
sexual
So here's the-
exploitation.
here's
And then
the thing.
the males are murdered. The males are useless to the industry. They murder for veal. The females, where they can't produce any more milk, what happens to them?
Yes, and we are quite aware of the hormonal injections,
Yeah.
them
So-
impregnated all the time.
Like the
We are
full
aware-
arm to
yes,
impregnate them?
Yes.
Right?
So hear me out on this. You're commodifying animals just because you like it, and when the cow stops producing
Yeah.
milk,
And then
why are you gonna get another cow? Regardless if you don't kill her, what are you gonna do with her? Send her away to someone else to that?
butcher.
You're still killing her.
Yes.
Maybe you're not
Yeah.
doing it yourself,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
even if you have a cow in your home, like
Yeah. Free roaming cow.
yeah, are you gonna have that cow forever? And regardless of that, why are we using cows for something that we're not even a cow? We're humans.
Yeah,
why are we stealing
why
the
exploit
cow?
conscious beings?
You
that
don't
we
agree
have
with
on
your
our-
actions. With none of your actions, you're not agreeing. You're disagreeing.
I agree with you.
You're disagreeing with me when your
I don't-
actions
I don't know
are
what to say right now,
doing.
so.
Because when your actions
guys are
do
right.
the
I get no
opposite, you're
arguments, but-
disagreeing, not agreeing. If you agree,
Well, but
you would
he does
agree to stop.
He
like
does agree
now,
he's being
immediately.
hypocrite.
I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah, he agrees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't care about animals. You just care about
We
yourself.
do care. I donate lots of money every year. We try to be vegan whenever we can.
To the animal,
We
to
do
the
care.
animal
We
that
do care. No,
you're
but you can't say we
exploiting.
don't care. I donate thousands of dollars every year to animal causes, vegan causes and stuff. So I do
Remember-
care.
To the
Yeah, but
animal
by the
that
way,
you
by the way,
abuse.
to the animals that you are in fact murdering, to them, specifically to
abuse.
those victims, you don't care.
It matters.
To those
No,
victims.
we cannot because we don't know which ones
See, I'll
the
tell you one
milk
thing
is
though,
coming
but I
to,
mean,
right?
but traditionally, thousands
Regardless,
of years ago, when
like-
people drank milk, they had a cow in there.
In the
This is like
backyard.
traditional. This is 5,000 years ago in India,
Not even
right?
5,000.
We don't
have
need
the-
to use
100
animals
years
for
ago,
anything.
Dinesh.
They had the cows in their yards. They were domesticated, all that stuff like that. They had milk a couple times a year whenever the cow gave birth. The calf drank the milk first, right? Then after the calf drank the milk,
Why are
there
you
was surplus
stealing it
milk.
from the
Okay,
baby
but
cow?
because
No, no,
let
no.
me
Human
hear
females,
him.
your mother produced surplus milk too. So did your
Yeah.
mother. All human females
Yes.
produce
Should
surplus
you
milk.
drink
can
it?
ask her.
Any
Well,
of
by the
you?
way,
Mine
I
mother
just-
did
No,
not.
humans do drink it. Humans
No,
drink breast
but
milk too.
But what's-
So
what's
you
your-
can find
consent,
you can
if
find on
they-
the internet right
if
now.
my
What was
mother
the- what was the
consented,
point
that-
with the-
that would have
with the
been
story?
okay.
I'm just a little confused.
I'm just saying, so the current way milk is produced, no argument. It is wrong, no argument. But traditionally, there is a way to consume dairy that is not violent. You can't do it anymore, but you could do it.
So let me ask you this: like, would you say that in that traditional way that it was good to produce milk or whatever? Would you say that would be ethical to do that with human females? To do that in the traditional way, not the actual.
I mean, if
Well,
there's excess
You're making
milk,
a
then it
welfare
needs to come out.
argument.
I mean, if you're like enslaving them, I mean, probably not.
But-
so,
Well, that's
India-
exactly what we're doing
No,
to
no,
them,
the
right?
religion-
Right now,
Sorry,
right?
I
but
don't
cows
know
are
your name, but
cows are domesticated. Like they can't even live in the wild.
Okay, so
anymore,
let me ask you this: let's say we find a group of intellectually disabled humans to the degree of cows, and we do that to them. We breed them for milk, and we exploit them in that same way. Would you be in favor of that?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to answer that. I'm not.
Then
humans do things to human beings all the time. They always have done.
Yeah, but personally, you wouldn't pay for that kind of milk.
Well, no, because I wouldn't. Not for
Yeah,
human milk.
but you would pay for the cow's milk in the traditional way. So my question is, what's true of animals that
but
if it
what
was
you-
true of
what
us
you just
would justify that?
described was not the traditional way. You're not,
What?
You said you would enslave like certain number of humans and milk them. But
No,
that
no,
is
in the
not what you
traditional
did.
way. In the traditional way,
Right, I mean, if there was
we
just
breed them.
excess milk, and it happened to come from a human,
All
I find
mammals
that kind of
produce
gross,
excess
but
milk,
there's like
right? She
no-
produced excess
But
milk.
here's the thing. Here's
No,
the
you would
thing.
finance it with your money to keep doing to give your finance the
Yeah.
industry for it to
if there's
create
no
demand.
harm, and it just happens to be from a human, there's excess milk. Yeah, why not?
Here's the
Somebody-
thing.
it's about somebody you-
But
What do you
about
mean by
eggs?
harm, by the
no,
way?
No, but
No,
what
no,
about
no.
eggs? No, what
No,
about
no.
eggs, right? Let's say you have a chicken. Like, let's say you have
You're
a chicken
still seeing her
who's
as
living-
a
No,
commodity.
but let's
You're
say-
still
No, no,
commodifying her,
but it's
regardless if
no,
it's
no.
a backyard egg.
But this
Human
world
milk-
commodifies
Wait,
everything.
one at a time.
We don't have to.
Commodifies everything,
I
so-
want to go back to the human milk.
One
It
at a
is
time.
Human milk, cow milk. Even if you did not use human milk, and you said Dipali, what about like using yak's milk or like some other mammal's
The
milk?
same thing, it's
no,
wrong. No,
Exactly.
I wanna understand
What I'm
everybody.
trying to say is that it is. We're not used to that taste, right? Even sheep's and goat's milk, for example, cheese that comes from goat. I've tried giving my kids like goat's sheep, feta cheese, the milk that it comes from. They don't like that because they're not used to. So it's about having that taste developed. So we are all used to cow's milk taste, right?
Yeah, wait, the
And
point. The point
cheese-
I was
yeah, the
my point
is-
with the human hypothetical. It wasn't to justify doing that to humans. No, it was
Yeah.
to try to point out that there's no morally significant difference between animals and us that we justify
Right.
doing that to them.
Yes.
Like I'm against any kind of exploitation of any animal,
for
sentient being.
What I said
But
was I would be fine
I don't
with
think,
doing
I don't
that
think
to
animals
the
and humans are equal.
Okay, so then the question is this, and just
Yeah.
name the tree now, right? The question is this: what's true of animals that if it was true of us would make you have that same attitude towards the humans? Like what is
But
the morally significant
animals
difference?
have different senses, right? There are 5 different
I mean, you
senses
just
of
said-
No, wait,
animals.
wait,
No, but-
I'm asking him specifically. I want to know his
Two
response.
But you just said plants don't have senses. See, we believe plants are sentient, and you think they're not.
I don't. Well, I believe they're not because like
But I mean, I can give you- I can
as
give
we
you-
as I understand it, I study psychology. As neuropsychology understand it,
Yeah, yeah.
consciousness is as a emergent property of brains, right?
Right, but I could give you scientific studies and religious studies that say plants are sentient.
And-
so
and-
basically, don't eat.
and you could
don't
be
eat
right.
Too much.
You could be
So
right. Everything
instead of-
could be
Instead of having
conscious.
5
You're right.
carrots, if you can get by on 3 carrots, that's better because you're doing less violence. Right?
Yeah, but
With carrots.
panpsychism could be true, but still, to go back to the question, like you would be against exploiting humans, like intellectually disabled humans, presumably. And you say because we're different than animals. Then my question is this:
Well,
what,
intellectually disabled humans, again, it's like, what's their level of consciousness? If they barely know what's happening to them.
let's say they have equal levels of consciousness as pigs, right?
But if you're intellectually disabled, let's say you have an IQ of 20, you're technically classified as a moron or an idiot. That's what the classification is. They barely know what's going on, right?
Does that justify it?
You can't say all human beings have the same level of consciousness.
no,
We
but,
have
but,
different
but
levels.
would you
Animals have-
would you be in favor of
I mean,
exploiting
the average Puerto Rican eats a lot of meat. They have a lower level of consciousness than most vegetarians do, right? Because
I
that's
agree,
the
I
regular.
agree with that. Yeah. But would you be in favor of exploiting so-called morons
But you're
for milk?
saying
No, I'm not in
exploiting,
favor
right?
of it.
Then
I'm just saying-
why be in favor of the animal
No,
context?
because
I've
not
still
in
not
favor.
seen the
You're
difference.
using the
I'm not
word
in favor
exploit.
of-
The example of the cow in the backyard and the extra milk that the calf doesn't drink you use, I wouldn't call that exploitation. So if it happened to be a
That is
human,
beautiful.
Wait,
It's a
how would you
symbiotic
define
relation.
exploitation?
No,
How
but
would you
you know,
define
you're feeding the cow, you're taking care of the cow.
exploitation has to be some sort of harm or detriment to the thing you're
Yeah.
doing it to.
See,
Not
in
necessarily. For like exploitation, to me, I see it like as rights violations. For example, violating a right to freedom, for example, or
But
violating
imagine you let that cow go and it's
or
staying in your
using
backyard.
using someone as a means rather than an end. That I would see that sort of thing as an
in
exploitation.
even 50, 80 years before in India, what we did was, what our families did was they would have several cows in the backyard, right? Cows and buffaloes. And what they would do is, naturally, they would let the cow become pregnant. They would take the surplus milk after the little calf had
Yeah,
drank.
what
and
do you
that,
see as the issue
then
with that?
whatever
The male-
that milk
the
is
males
left,
were used for
and
farming and
and
stuff,
males
you know.
were used for farming, and the females were. So once that female is done, now, but my family needs milk every day, right? But the female cow is only pregnant for, let's say, 2 months in a year. So what they do is, because there's several cows, they would go to the next cow. and they would let this cow
Exactly,
rest.
more exploitation.
They would
More
let
What do you see
this
as
cow rest.
exploitation with that case?
They would
What-
Yeah,
leave
so-
that cow rest,
Yeah,
and then they would go to
it's
the next
fact,
cow, right?
The fact of like using sentient beings, like seeing this as means rather than as like basically treating them as like objects, basically.
A milking machine.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you use paper?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know how many millions and trillions of insects are killed when they make paper? We're using everything. Everything we do in this world is
We
violence,
walk
my
here
friend.
is
Everything.
a pa-
When we're
is
walking, when you
walking
walk
here.
home, when you drive home,
You
you're
know?
going to be killing insects and bugs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which I don't see as necessarily bad.
why?
No,
Insects.
but
See,
see,
for us, insects
see,
are
insects
like
are-
I will never step on a
Yeah.
nail or hurt a fly or
They-
a
Yeah,
mosquito.
most insects.
No, if there's a mosquito on me, I will not kill it. I will brush it off carefully.
Like this morning,
Most
we were at
most
the
insects
airport.
are carnivorous, so they're gonna end up murdering a bunch of other animals anyway.
No, they can't murder. See, if
But
God,
kill.
No, if God makes so, do you think you think lions and tigers are evil because they?
Are you a lion?
I
though?
wouldn't say they're. I
I
wouldn't
mean,
say.
that's how they were made.
I wouldn't say they're
We're not
evil.
lions,
I would
we're
say they're
humans,
innocent
and
because
the
they're
natural
not
evolution
moral
of the
agents.
diet
But
was to
same
have
same
But
with
I
mosquitoes.
but
Same with
but,
mosquitoes.
but
and stuff.
obviously
That's how
what they're doing is wrong.
So do you kill insects? If you have a mosquito on your hand right now, and if
Yeah,
it was
would you
biting
swat
They're
it?
you,
harming
Of course,
us.
I would defend
though.
my bodily
so
autonomy.
you
Yes.
wouldn't hit it,
But you
kill
don't
it,
have to
or
defend
would you?
yourself. You could also
You
blow
could
it
just
up.
blow it up.
There was no need to
Yeah, but what about? Okay, so a couple of things there. Mosquitoes, I see it as like blood-sucking beings that harm others, right? So if I don't
Why
decide
judge
myself,
it
But it
But
still
can,
has
can
the
I,
right.
can I
Why
finish
no,
my
no.
point? Can I finish
No,
my
no,
point?
but it still
No,
has
no,
the
but can I
right to
finish my
live,
point?
right?
Can
But
I
it's
finish
still-
my point?
yes, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is that they could harm others. They could like end up giving a disease to a kid and murder the kid or something like that.
I wouldn't
What
say
about a
murder.
cow? Does a
Murder
cow?
Maybe
requires
that
intent.
maybe
Yeah,
that
murder requires
The
intent.
my
reason-
definition of murder is
the
not the
religion,
same.
sorry, the religion we come from is called Jainism. Sometimes when you have time,
Yeah, I've
read
heard.
about it.
I've
okay?
heard Jainism,
It's
yeah.
very close to Buddhism, but Jainism. Remember I told you live and let live others. So
You're not letting
Yeah,
live.
it's the principle of
But see,
ahimsa,
no,
right?
but yeah,
No-
ahimsa.
non-violence,
Yes,
right?
But see,
ahimsa,
if we can
non-violence.
avoid it, I won't walk in the grass.
Yes.
I always go
because
around the
grass also
because
has
I don't
life,
want to harm.
you know?
Because the grass
no,
also has
but,
There's bugs
okay,
in
there
there.
are
Why
bugs.
step on them for
no,
no
no.
reason?
If
but
you can
there
avoid
are-
it, if you can go around and go on the sidewalk,
You
then
know
do that
there are
instead.
sense-
But
No,
now you
I
guys
wanna-
are being
sorry.
like bugs activists, but well at the same time
not
you
bugs
pay
activists.
for sexual exploitation of cows, which is insane.
Yes,
No,
we-
That's
we're
insane.
not,
no,
we're
no.
not paying. We're
No,
not
no.
willfully doing that.
Yes.
As I told you from the beginning,
Yeah.
we are weak. We're human beings,
okay.
and we're doing
No,
the
no.
best we can.
So-
but
Not,
we also
not enough for the animal.
But see, we think
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not.
For the victim.
You're walking on the grass. You're killing bugs. You're
Yeah,
swatting
but
mosquitoes.
I
You
personally
guys
don't
are,
see
you know,
that.
What did the cow
I
do to
personally-
you?
I
At
personally
least the
don't see
mosquito
the
is trying to
ethical
harm me. The cow is not
The
trying.
mosquito's not trying to harm you.
It's
The
trying to
mosquito's
eat.
trying to. The mosquito's trying to live.
It has
That's
no
all.
intent
No,
to
okay,
But
do
is
it.
the
forget
cow
about
trying to
mosquito. No,
live
forget
by
about
harming
mosquito.
you?
God made the
No,
mosquito to
if a
suck your
donkey
blood. I mean,
kicks
it's
you
not-
while
it's not
you're
going
Can
to
I
die.
ask you?
It
Can
was
can
not
I
harm
can
you.
I?
Are you gonna kill
Okay,
it?
let 1 minute. Let's
What did
go
the cow
here
do to
with
us?
here.
If a
Let's
cow
finish
kicks you
this
while you walk
meeting
by, it
with
harmed you. Are
something
you
you
gonna
learn
kill it?
and we learn because
No.
we are
So
both.
then what's the
I
difference
think we
with
want to do
mosquito?
good, right?
Yeah, but it's interesting. We're having
yeah,
fun, right? We're
yeah,
having fun.
So I wanna. We are
That's
having
what it's all
fun.
about, right?
No, we are having fun.
Look, you guys are brave to be
we are
doing
having
this,
very
and
good.
I admire
Yes,
what you're
we-
doing.
You guys are
No,
not
no.
brave enough.
No, but what I want to
Because
tell
you're
you.
just-
Yeah, for
The
those
thing is that,
victims,
look, when you say
because
those
he-
things,
he's
when,
No, no.
when you say those
No, but
things,
we
it
can't.
doesn't affect us, and it just makes
No, no.
vegans and
No,
animal
no,
activists
but
look
the
bad.
thing is,
No, no.
We're
I want to
speaking
tell
for
about
the
something.
animal.
But
One,
if you want to,
finish,
if you want to
hold on.
convert
So-
people,
so you're
that's
saying-
not the way to do it.
I want to
I'm
say
sorry.
one thing.
Imagine
I've done this for 20 years. I've been out there
I
giving
was-
out
that's
leaflets
an
and
empirical
stuff.
question, by the way. That's an empirical question.
No,
We don't
no.
know what style of advocacy works better. We don't have any
Right.
People don't
evidence
like
about it.
vegans and animal activists. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I-
Maybe
I
you
imagine-
don't. Maybe you don't.
No,
but I do. Yeah.
I have stood out there giving out leaflets.
I know
okay?
people who do.
I've done
Sorry,
that.
I want to tell you one thing. So there are 5 senses in a being, okay? Different, like there is 1 sense being, 2 sense being, 3 sense being, 4 sense being, and 5 sense being. Humans, cows, these bigger mammals are 5 sense beings, okay? And there are smaller beings. But in Jainism, the religion we come from, even 1 sense being, you have to let them live. So forget about mosquito. You're like, okay, the mosquito is biting me. It's going to go and bite a kid, and then the kid will die of malaria. Forget about it. There are hundreds and thousands of bugs in that grass, right? And on top of that, the grass is alive. So what we believe is the plants are alive. So with our gods, we don't even take prayers, flowers, and things like that because in Hinduism,
We
I
don't
don't know
cut
if you know,
flowers, we don't
we
do
don't
any of
cut
that stuff.
flowers because we don't want to harm
The monks, our
plant.
monks wear something on their mouth, so
Yes.
they don't even disturb insects around them.
Because
That's how far they
how
take
when we are
nonviolence.
talking right now, there is the warm air coming out, and there are millions of microorganisms around our mouth that are
So we
actually
take it to
dying.
a really real extreme.
We
But
are
you guys,
taking
by the
to
way,
a
I
very
have a
extreme
question,
thing.
just curiosity about
Yes.
Jainism. I want to learn a little, but you, like ahimsa, that means you give against killing anybody.
Anything,
Anybody.
anything.
Non-violence in thought, word, and deed.
Like, but
Yes.
can I ask you something?
Even
Is
in-
this your son?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's say like a crocodile appear out of nowhere and it was gonna kill your son, and you
Yeah.
had a gun, you could shoot the crocodile.
Yes.
Would you?
You know why? Because I'm weak, so I would save my son.
Yes.
But if he was,
I love that, man.
But you're thinking about the victim. In this case, you're actually thinking about the victim, which is him.
My love for my son is greater than my love for that crocodile. So yes, I would shoot the
Yeah,
crocodile.
I think you should.
But I would also feel bad about it afterwards.
Yes. And we could.
Dude,
no.
are you seriously gonna feel bad for
Yeah.
saving your son's life?
Honestly, I would.
No,
I
for
swear to
killing
God.
the crocodile.
For killing the
No,
crocodile. I
for
would
killing
feel
the
bad.
crocodile will feel bad.
Because
not for
the
killing.
crocodile is
did
doing
nothing
what's
wrong.
the
Nothing.
crocodile is doing
Crocodile
what's in
did
its
its
nature.
Yes,
nature. It's
and
gonna try
he
and eat
just happened to
something.
be in the wrong place. He should not have gone in that river to be in the crocodile's mouth. But he made a mistake, and the crocodile's life has to pay for it because he killed the crocodile.
Let's say he didn't make a mistake. Let's say out of nowhere the crocodile just appeared here.
Doesn't
He
matter, but
escaped
the
a
crocodile's
escaped
not
a
doing
circus or
something wrong,
something.
right?
But it's our
the
fault.
Would you still
crocodile is
kill
But
him?
it's the
doing it.
human's fault because we're like destroying their habitats. Then they come
The
where
crocodile,
humans are living. All that.
regardless,
It's all
The
our
of if
fault.
it's trying
crocodile
to eat
usually
me or
should
not.
live in a
The
swampland.
crocodile's not doing something wrong. Can you tell the crocodile
humans
not to
are bad,
do what
man.
it's
Humans
meant
are the
to do?
worst.
It's not a moral
Imagine
agent. By the way, the crocodile is not a moral agent. It doesn't distinguish good
Exactly.
from right.
So
But you
why-
guys do.
And neither
you guys do. So
but
why the
neither-
hell
but
pay
neither-
for milk?
But
right?
neither is the mosquito. The mosquito's not a moral agent either.
No, of course not.
So then
So you
But then
said
why kill it,
something.
right?
The
So
same
you-
reason you would
morning-
kill the crocodile.
No, see,
you would
no,
feel
but,
bad if you killed
but,
the crocodile.
but the crocodile was going to kill my son. The mosquito biting you is not going to kill us. So
Well,
this
it
morning,
could
for
if you get a
example,
disease,
no,
right?
no, but this morning,
Exactly.
this morning we were at the airport. We all saw there was a little centipede was crawling, and he was just in the walkway where somebody would have walked and stepped on that bug. We all saw in the same way. He quickly took out a paper from his bag. I put the paper underneath. We took the centipede. We told the security guard to put it into a plant outside the airport because I was not allowed to go. That is the level of, and I'm not saying I'm the best. Okay, there
No,
are
we're
so
definitely not
many
perfect.
people.
Yeah, we're
we
certainly
we
not.
every day thrive and we
You-
every
you-
day talk.
you-
you
I-
know?
I-
Jains-
I-
you know, Jains at the end
we
of
would
their
agree on
life-
this. We would agree on this.
yeah.
You guys are better than most people we talk about here. Okay, you
It's
have
not-
good, you have
it's
good,
not,
good
but we have
values.
so far way to go.
No,
you
but
know?
your
Yeah.
values are great. I agree with
Yeah.
with a lot of your values. Not all. I don't know if I take.
Yes.
I don't know if ahimsa. I'm convinced completely about it, but I like your values. But your actions, you gotta align them a little bit more.
Yes, we agree with that.
And
we
get
are not, we are
have
saying-
more strength
There's
because
no point
weakness
in
is not
I
a
agree.
bringing
weakness.
this up
Yes.
again and again
Weakness.
because we've agreed. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
Anyway.
yes.
you're not
No,
going to
but,
convince us
but
anymore.
what does the agreement mean? Maybe.
Well, it's between you and your conscience,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
So, but
Yeah.
like any sort of berating is not going to change that.
So, okay,
Right?
I'll
It's-
give you
it's an
one more
argument with me
example.
and
My
myself.
husband 2 years before became vegan, okay?
No, not
he
2
loves
years, like
5, 6 years back. Okay, I don't remember. But anyways, one day he told me, he's like, oh, I'm going to become vegan. And
Vegetarian.
I thought he loves
diet.
cheese.
Vegan.
No,
No, we've been
vegan.
vegetarian since birth. We've never
We have
tasted
never
meat.
tasted
Yeah.
meat, okay?
Yeah.
No fish, no eggs, nothing. Vegan.
But I went vegan.
He
Yeah,
told
fully
me he
vegan.
was going to become
It's
vegan.
not a
I'm
diet.
like, no, but I thought he was just going to, leave it after 1 week or 2 weeks because he loves cheese and ice cream so much. I'm like, he's not
Then
going to
that's
stick
not
to it.
vegan.
Let me finish my story.
Okay, yeah.
I know what vegan is, what vegetarian is. Very clearly, I know it. Okay, I can give you all the list of things. But he became vegan. So after 1 year, I became so frustrated because he's stuck on the path of veganism. He left milk. He doesn't eat he doesn't wear leather shoes. It's a lifestyle you're talking about. He doesn't wear leather bags. He doesn't do anything that we naturally don't do none of that,
It's a
right?
vegan tour company.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So
pretty
we're
cool that
we're
it
already
actually-
on the path of that path. So one day I became so frustrated. I said I want to eat few things that are made with yogurt and culturally that I was grown with, like made with only milk, okay, not with eggs or anything. So we
With
made
rape.
a compromise.
Made with rape. Yeah.
Huh?
The correct term would be made with rape.
Yeah.
Raping.
Okay.
With rape.
So yes, fine, and I agree with that. So I told him. So you know what? We made a compromise that I was not becoming vegan. So I said I'll become vegan 6 days a week, and 2 days in a week you eat
So-
some sort of product that are. So now what happened here? Is that a good thing? That
No.
I was a person who was eating 8 days of cheese and milk and all that,
See,
but
the-
because
that-
of
Imagine
him,
that's a
Because-
welfare's
but
argument.
but because of
Let-
him,
let- let her
but
finish
because
the
of
question.
him, I became 6 days vegan and 2 days non-vegan.
And your
You
question
see
is
that?
what?
So I'm saying
So
that
the
we
overall number of vegan days has increased now.
increase that.
The issue with your
In
argument
between
is
two
saying
human beings, it was 7
you
days.
must become
Now it
fully
is.
vegan, or you're doing
The
nothing at
animals
all.
need us to be completely
Understood,
like
but
never abuse them
that's
anymore.
not our position.
No, but
That's
you
not our
can
position.
also-
His position comes across.
That's not your
as-
position, right? Your position is not that they're not doing anything at all. Your position is that they're
unfortunately,
not
that's
doing
what it
enough.
comes across
Exactly,
as.
exactly.
They don't-
Not
yeah,
enough.
they don't
And
know.
here's the thing. Imagine I said I'm gonna be against violating, like actually raping women 6 days a week, but only one day I will rape.
like think about it in
But
that
see,
any
that-
other
is that
world.
enough?
Is
Is
believe
that 6
there's a
days?
difference between
Yeah, I don't
humans
agree.
Out
man.
of
I
the
don't
whole
think
week,
there's a
You-
7
okay,
days, but
so-
only one day I will rape
No,
a
I
woman.
think there's a
Name the
difference
trade
I
again,
think
by the
it
way.
would still be
name-
better than
bro,
6
Name the
days.
trade again. Name the
I
trade
would
again.
say, yeah,
With
I
him.
would say
But
that.
use that.
Yeah.
What I just said. Use it with the.
So okay, so you claim again, we're not. I'm not even saying we're the same. I'm just saying they have enough value for us to be able an obligation not to be turned into leather or use them for milk. But you say that we're not the same. I agree, we're not the same.
You're comparing rape of humans to rape of animals.
The same
I don't-
act.
I don't believe it's on the same level.
No, but
Okay, so you're against raping women, right?
No,
Right,
even
I
if it was.
believe-
And cows.
I
Okay.
believe it's a
And
much
cows.
worse level to rape a human rather than rape a cow. I don't believe they're the exact same.
It's the
level
same
of-
act.
No, but
I
The
don't
rape of the
care
cow
that
is
it's
done
the
for a
same
completely
act.
different reason than the rape.
I believe
What
fundamentally
is it that makes it worse in your opinion?
There seems to be a different level of sentience and
Yes.
intelligence which distinguishes
So let me
the
ask you
animal
this.
from
Let me ask you
humans.
this.
So in
Let's say.
I will come
And
back to
I
his
couldn't
point.
I
yeah.
couldn't
Yeah,
tell
but
you
no,
where that transition
No, my friend,
occurs.
No, but I want to
I
finish
believe
off
it
There's
is.
a
his.
reductio to your view. The logical consequences are horrific. I'm gonna tell you what are they. Let's say we find a human, low amount of sentience, low amount of intelligence, intellectually disabled human. Will you be in favor of raping him?
No, because how are you quantifying that? I don't know how I
No,
quantify.
let's
it. I
say
believe
let's
that
say
there's-
let's say hypothetically.
No, but the word you're
let's
using,
say
no,
hypothetically,
but
my
you're
friend.
using the word rape.
No.
Rape has a very particular context in the law and in human beings, right? Rape is done because of power, relations, and dynamics. When you're raping, as you say, a cow, it's being done. They're not doing it for sexual gratification or for power. They're doing it because they just want to use the cow.
Okay, let's just
Like, it's
stick.
not a- it's-
Let's
it's a
just stick
different
with
thing you're
artificial
talking about.
insemination for the dairy industry. Let's say we were to take a group of, let's say hypothetically we found out they have the same amount.
Sure,
Of,
hypothetically,
No, my
I don't
friend,
think
my
you can
friend.
find a human that's hypothetically
my
the
friend,
same as
my
a
friend.
cow.
Are you gonna run away from the question? The question is this: hypothetically, you know what a hypothetical is?
I do know
If
what a
if
hypothetical
you woke up tomorrow and this was true, this was the reality, there was humans that had the same amount of sentience and intelligence as cows, would you be in favor of artificially inseminating them for milk? No, that's the question for you. My question for you: yes or no?
Oh yeah, okay, yes, I
You
would
will
say.
be in favor of that?
Yeah,
Of
I would be.
artificially
If the
inseminating
sentiment-
humans?
Yeah,
a human, it wouldn't
yeah.
have the
Wow.
properties of a human.
I don't.
and
I
you
don't want to
couldn't-
be the victim.
You
What do you
could
mean
call it a
properties of
human
a human? What do
This
you
is
mean
not
properties?
only
That's
one
what I
victim, it's
probably
also-
wouldn't define for you unless I wrote
So
like a 50,
artificially
50
inseminated
page.
someone.
No, name the trade, my friend.
Even
Name the
in-
trade.
Sorry, what's your name and
What?
your name? What is your name? sir?
Eddie.
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 And your
Eddie,
name?
short for Heriberto.
Eddie. And you?
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Guillermo. Eddie. And okay, so
No,
guys.
not Eddie. Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie. Okay.
Heriberto and Guillermo.
Heriberto, yeah.
Okay, so you know the thing is that even in our religion, I wanted to
By
finish
the way,
his.
your son
No, no.
contradicted himself, so I wanted to keep the dialogue with
Yes.
him. By the way.
No, I just wanted to finish one thing. What he
Yeah.
was saying on the same note, that in our again we go back to our religion, right? Because that's what the philosophy we follow, and that's what we try to live. So in our philosophy, also it says that human life is extremely important life. Okay, human life, because. You can do so many good things. You can go so much higher spiritually, but by only in a human birth. Only by in a human
Like
birth,
religiously.
not by
No, but-
religiously,
like
but
humans
not
can
by
meditate,
cow,
cows
not
can't.
not
Okay,
by
but let me
being
ask you
allo-
this. Let me ask you this.
Okay, let me respond to
there's-
what you
yeah.
thought the
Right,
contradiction was. I
you
named
do
two
you do
traits,
understand
right?
there's in society right now in existence there's intellectually disabled humans, right? There
Right,
are.
I
There are.
named two traits, right? I named consciousness and intelligence.
Yes.
There are many more things that distinguish a human from a cow. And if every single one of those traits of a human was exactly the same as a cow, not just those two, if every single one was the same, that would no longer be a human.
Yes.
It would be a cow.
or an animal.
No, but
or,
I'm just
or a
I'm just
human
asking
animal.
I'm just asking
Yeah.
I'm just asking for the thing that
There's no one thing.
Ju-
I'm telling you, there's
that
like
gives you a because you do have a difference in attitude.
I do.
about the two
I do
contexts.
believe there's
Yes.
a difference between
Yeah,
humans
so
and
I'm just
animals.
asking what is the trait or group of
there's-
traits
okay,
that
listing
is
that
true.
group
no-
of traits
Can
would
I ask
take
the
me
question?
too long.
What is the trait or group of traits that is true of the animal and if it was true of the humans, if it was, would justify that same thing to humans in your opinion?
I don't think I can reduce it to a group of traits. It would take me like hours of thought and like argumentation
dissection
to describe exactly what's the difference between a human and an animal. I believe there's a difference. I can't tell you what it is right now.
If you can't articulate the difference, maybe there's not a morally significant difference at all. Maybe you should look.
Maybe I just can't articulate it. How can you know that I can't articulate it versus there isn't?
And that's
I
what the
believe
spiritual path-
there isn't. There
Okay,
isn't.
but what if I believe there
Like,
is? How,
the only-
can you
for me-
articulate to me the difference then?
the
Like.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? That for me, the only morally significant trait in the universe is sentience. Like that's the only thing that matters. Like that's what gives moral
Okay,
worth to a being.
But you just said sentience. The grass is sentient. The bugs are sentient.
If
There's
it's
sentience everywhere.
sentient, if panpsychism is true and they're sentient, they matter too.
I think there's
They
a
matter.
pretty strong argument that it's true. I mean, I don't walk
And
on the grass.
is
If I can
there
avoid
a
it,
way to
I avoid
quantify
it.
sentience? Like, sure, you believe in sentience.
There's also levels
right?
of sentience.
There's levels of sentience. How are you quantifying the differences in levels of sentience?
Yeah, so
Like
how
about clams and oysters? Are they alive?
I'm in
What
favor
about
of
sea
eating
sponges?
oysters.
See, you are in favor of eating oysters.
Yeah.
I would never eat an
Yeah,
oyster because to
see-
me it's an animal.
Yeah.
I don't believe they have
you
sentience.
eat
But see, you're
clams?
quantifying the
I
sentience.
don't. I don't eat
somewhere.
them, but
And
I believe it's ethical to eat.
I haven't
No,
heard you
see-
tell me how you quantify the
Okay,
sentience.
can I
Sure,
say
tell me.
it? Okay, so for me, like in order to determine that a being is, because like obviously in philosophy there's the problem of solipsism, right? You don't know like anybody else outside of you is sentient, right? You can't prove it for sure.
Yeah, you can,
But we
sure.
can use analogy in behavior. Yeah, we can use analogy in behavior. You can see the behavior of other beings, and that behavior is similar enough to mine. That's one thing. And the other thing is anatomical, like similarities in anatomical structures, like brains.
Sure, cow's behavior is very different from mine. I could argue that
Not that different.
I don't sit around eating grass all day.
But
I
some-
have a job. I have.
And
Some
cows-
humans,
and cows
but
don't
some humans
study
are
physics.
intellectually disabled to the degree that by
You're
looking
talking
at
about,
their
like,
behavior.
edge cases of humans and the most
Yeah,
brilliant
marginal
cow
cases.
versus the
Marginal
the
cases.
stupidest
But
human.
those
cows-
marginal cases matter to you too.
I don't.
Right? You
No,
wouldn't
I
murder
think,
them,
I
right?
think you should make the argument based on the most general and most applicable case.
No,
I mean,
no, I'm looking
humans
at,
don't-
I'm looking for inconsistencies in your view, and I
humans
found
don't-
them. Like
humans-
even if it's in a marginal case, it's still
Okay,
inconsistency.
Sure, find
Yeah.
these marginal cases can be very easily constructed hypothetically. Find me a case where a human is the same as a cow. Find a brilliant cow.
Okay,
or
I'll
a-
find it right now. Using the magic wand of philosophy, I'll put out a hypothetical. Let's say
Right, see this hypothetical.
Let-
So you
let's
can
say-
use hypotheticals to
Yeah.
find edge cases of any argument. But if those edge cases can never come up in actuality,
Yeah.
what's the point
that
of
doesn't matter.
considering
It doesn't matter. Like what
does matter,
The
because-
information that's important to me is I'm trying to determine what your values are.
Right, I don't
And what
think my
extends
values-
logically from your values.
I don't-
And in
you can
order
have a value that
can I
doesn't
finish
extend
my point? Can I
logically
finish
to
it? You should
advocative.
be able, like, if you have a consistent position, if you have a stable position, you should be able to respond to logically consistent hypotheticals. And those I don't see a contradiction with those hypotheticals. It could be the case that there are humans like that, right?
No.
It's possible that there's humans like that.
But I don't believe that your logical position needs to extend ad infinitum to any sort of like ridiculous hypothetical. I could say.
No, the
what
problem
if-
is this. The problem,
hypothetically, what if there's a
have you
clan
heard
that
about the
is as-
principle of explosion in mathematics and logic, right? The principle
I
of
have.
explosion, right? If you find a single contradiction in a moral system,
Okay,
it becomes
thi-
completely useless.
Understood. This is
Yeah.
mathematics
So what
versus
were you
where like.
saying?
But
Tell
what if
me.
there's an oyster that's
Yeah,
brilliant? who could
this
study
is
physics?
me.
Then
What
it would,
hypothetically-
it would
No,
matter
finish.
to me.
Sorry, he wants to finish one thing.
hypothetically,
Yeah.
you think eating clams is fine, right? Or like
Theoretically.
morally, you think eating
I'm
clams is
actually agnostic, but I lean towards
Sure,
it's fine.
let's say you think
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
What if I hypothetically give you a clam that can speak, feel, talk, do physics, whatever? Is this not the same thing? I've taken your
No, it would matter to me. That oyster would matter to me.
That one matters to you. But
Of
what about
course.
the so? What I'm
A
saying
plant,
is,
if a plant is sentient, it would matter to me too.
okay, that brilliant cow matters to me. I wouldn't exploit it.
What do you mean the brilliant cow?
You're saying
Yeah.
the cow that it is as smart as a human.
She talks to her
Sure.
plants. I mean,
Yeah.
and they respond to
I
her.
don't-
So, I
don't
mean,
exploit it.
I'm not sure
Okay,
I was talking about. I was
yeah,
doing it in
let me-
reverse. A
okay.
human that was as smart as a cow, I was saying.
Okay, give me like a human that's as dumb as a clam. Would you eat it?
Ah,
It's the exact
Okay, so
same
a human that is
reduction
not
of your
sentient. So are you
argument.
saying if I would eat a dead body?
No, because is the
I would
clam
eat dead
dead?
body if I
Shane?
Is the clam dead?
Same. I don't
Like,
see the
if it was,
ethical
like,
issue.
roadkill
Is the
or
clam-
something,
If it's a road
Is the
kill,
clam
and it
dead?
didn't cause any extrinsic
Right, if I
suffering,
had
no
to eat-
family member
Same
suffering.
with like monks, Buddhist monks, they'll
Yeah,
eat
I
roadkill
mean, I
because,
believe
like,
there's no
wasn't killed
issue
for
with
that.
that.
If I
but
was hungry
the clam
and
is,
I had no
the
food,
clam is
I would
also
eat
not
that.
dead, right?
Sure, same.
Is the clam dead?
What?
Is the clam dead?
Plants
A
aren't dead
living-
either.
A living clam. If I gave you a human as stupid and as incapable as a clam, isn't that the same reduction of,
Well,
of
so
your
that-
argument
okay,
just
so
to a different
let
level?
me respond. So, yes, I would say yes. If it
So
was to
how
the
is
same
this a
degree,
difference?
if it was to the same degree, which means no sentience or no or
See,
like.
this is where we differ. I don't believe that the clam has no sentience.
Well, that's actually an empirical question, right? If you provide
don't
me some
thi-
evidence that they're sentient,
Give me evidence that it's not sentient. You're using analogy.
They
that
have
they
no
have
brain.
A different,
They have no
Yes.
structures
How do you
that-
know? Okay, where have you ever heard that sentience is an emergent property of the brain? How can you prove that to me? How can you prove that sentience only comes from the brain?
You actually can't prove anything in
can't-
science, right? Science is
but if there's also- but if there's also
provisional,
consciousness.
right? That's the
Okay,
current
but
consensus
you're-
between scientists is that it is.
Just because there's no CNS, there's no central nervous, doesn't mean that the thing is not sentient.
Your belief
Like
is
you're
that
saying,
I don't know.
a
brain and
brain
central nervous
causes
system equals
sentience.
sentience, and that's
I don't
not
believe.
necessarily
I don't agree with that. I don't
And
agree.
you could be right. And you
right,
could be right.
and so
right?
you can't.
But
take
I
arguments to
believe
a lot-
sentience is an emergent property of brains.
and I don't. So there's a
That's a
fundamental
main,
difference in
main
our
difference.
posits.
See, that's where
If
we
our
differ.
axioms are different,
Yes.
we can't argue or
We
agree on
think
anything else.
that even
and you
something
can't
does
tell me
not
that
have
I'm wrong.
brain,
I can't tell
like
you that
maybe
you're
Well,
a
but I
plant
can
doesn't
still
have
do
brain.
an internal critique of your view, assuming all
Right,
your
and
empirics are
by
true.
the- by
But
the
you are
same-
right about the dairy. We agree on that.
Okay, we totally agree on that.
We
Yeah,
are-
and
They're not-
please,
and we
please
will
look
make-
into
Yes,
stop
we
being a
will
make-
hypocrite. Like they
yes, yes.
matter,
We
man.
rarely
Come
eat,
on.
We
rarely
know,
eat dairy. It's
but-
really more
To
But
the
we will
victim,
make
it
it-
matters,
but we will
regardless
make it-
of how this.
I-
It matters
like,
to
I
the
agree with the
victim.
dairy.
Yeah,
I'm just
tonight
thinking
when you
your-
guys- tonight when
the
you
way
guys
you
go
took
home,
my
try to
argument
avoid
to
the
a
glass,
logical
okay?
extreme.
I
by
would,
considering
I could,
a
but-
human
but
as stupid as a
I don't
clam.
believe they're sentient.
Because
so.
we have different posits
cows
and different
are, so-
assumptions.
And
I can take
sheep-
your argument
Yeah,
to
okay,
the
so
extreme of
all the
a
animals
can I
that you
respond to him
mentioned.
really important? So he said something really important. So the only difference is that I took your position into a reductio ad absurdum. It was insane. It was your position ended up in a logical consequence that most people, upon hearing that position, in my view, would say that that's horrific. Like he would be in favor of exploiting intellectually disabled humans with low sentience and low intelligence. That's crazy. But I never at any point said anything that would be considered a reductio.
It's not reductio ad absurdum. It's like extending the argument to an illogical hypothetical. It's like a different logical technique, but it's still. If I applied the same thing you did to me and said instead of a cow, take it to a clam, it's the same thing but further.
Yeah, but what's the
right?
reductio in my view? What's the reductio? Like, what's the logical consequence that's hilarious or horrific in my view?
In your view?
Yeah.
Of
And
reducing
other-
a human to a clam?
Other people's.
And then eating the human that's as dumb as a clam?
Yeah,
I
so
think that's pretty absurd,
Like
right?
sorry, like
That's the reductio ad
taking
absurdum.
my position into consideration, right? That I believe there's no reason to
But see,
believe.
that's why
oysters are sentient.
I believe that's reductio ad absurdum and you don't. Because
Why?
I believe the clam has sentience. You don't.
How?
See,
They only have
we-
ganglia, nerve
we've
ganglia.
just
They don't have
discussed-
brains.
We've just discussed
brain
this
and
that
CNS doesn't equal
we don't
sentience.
believe.
But you guys believe plants are sentient.
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
Exactly. So we do have different views
So we
on
have a
that.
fundamental
Exactly. So this is
The
why
fundamental
my
view
extension
is
of your
very
argument is
different.
I
a
don't think
reductio
we
ad
have
absurdum,
I
and
don't
you
think we have
it is.
much difference in our values here.
No,
It's
no.
in our.
We all
Wait,
believe in
wait.
minimizing violence.
Let me
Yes.
just
And
finish.
you guys could be right, right?
Because of this
panpsychism
difference,
could be true. I don't know.
because of this difference in a definition of sentience, my extension of your argument has turned it into reductio ad absurdum, whereas to you it doesn't.
Yeah.
And because of this difference in definitions of sentience, we're not going to reconcile that.
And
Because
what's
this is
your, by the
fun-
way, what's your definition of sentence?
I don't have a definition of sentience, but I don't believe
He
that a
doesn't study
brain.
biology, he's
But
studying
what do
physics.
you think? What do you think it
I
means?
couldn't tell
like
you. I couldn't
like
tell you. I think I need to study
like,
my whole
You
life
know, in
in-
natural language, in your own words, what do you think
I
sentience
couldn't
is?
tell you. I think that anything that's alive
But,
is
like,
possibly
it-
sentient to a certain
But
degree.
when you use the word sentience, like
You're going to say it's the capacity to feel pain.
no, but give me a concept. What do you mean? What do you think it is?
Some sort of
Awareness.
awareness of surroundings, ability to have to
It's more than the ability to feel
yeah,
pain.
it's more than
This
the
one I
ability
like.
to feel pain. It's more than the ability to be able to choose your actions. It's it's
Yeah, but
very difficult
it's
for
actually
me
it
to
was
define.
it was
right?
actually a good definition. The awareness thing. The way I define it is a capacity for subjective experience. So like having a mind, for example.
I don't
See,
think
for
having a mind is
example,
necessary
now
for
I'm
sentience.
just going
What
on
do
a
you mean?
different
Like,
track
I see it
here.
as I see it as I see it
Clam
as
doesn't have a brain, but
no,
I
but-
think a clam is
no, but I
aware of
see
its
it.
surroundings.
I see it as synonymous. Mind and sentience. I see it as synonymous.
I don't.
See, I just
that's
want
how
to say
I
one
would
more
see
thing here. Like, and I'm
So you don't
talking
think
about,
oysters have a mind?
They don't have a brain.
I
They
think-
don't
I
have
think
a central
oysters-
nervous
I think
system.
Yeah, so
oysters-
I think we actually agree
But I
in
think
that
they're still
definition of
sentient.
I
sentience.
think oysters have
they're still
consciousness.
Yeah, but you're
sentient.
using a different definition of sentience.
Agreed. This
In-
is what I've been telling
in
you.
what
We
I-
disagree on our definitions.
Yeah, but
of
if we
sentience,
use
and
mind,
therefore-
then
Sure,
then-
if I use yours, then we come to the same conclusion. But
Yeah.
we don't.
Yeah,
I don't
but
agree with
then-
your
then-
definition of sentience.
So you
You're
understand
not
my
gonna
position
convince
better. I could say that
I totally understand your position.
The
I just-
only morally significant trait in the whole universe is having a mind. Now, I can
If
just say that.
Not
You-
a mind, not a mind. See, you're equating mind with sentience.
No, that's
not
his
It is.
position is equating those. So if we
That's
took
what I'm
his
saying, yeah.
position, we
Yeah.
would agree with you.
I
and
was
see,
just
we are
saying
different
chemistry.
on that. We are not.
Like
But we
it's
don't
a
take
capacity
your
for
position.
subjective experience. It's having a mind.
But every religious tradition says go beyond the mind. The mind is not what defines consciousness.
Yeah.
So we're getting
I
into-
agree
Then I
with
don't
you.
understand
If-
what it would mean to be conscious beyond a mind.
I don't
know.
understand either, but
that-
I don't believe
but
that
what I'm
it's,
saying is that
it's
every
just a
religious
mind.
tradition, whether it's mystical Christianity or mystical Islam or Buddhism, all say go beyond the mind. The mind is not what humans are. The
Yes,
mind is not
yeah.
what creates sentience.
That's what the
mind
meditation is.
The mind is only part of what creates
Yeah.
consciousness. Anyways, we gotta go. But
Yeah, but
But it was
fun.
fantastic
It was fun.
chatting
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you guys.
Nice
Best of
Guillermo.
luck.
All the best to
We
you.
hope you can
Keep
convert.
up the good work.
Keep up the good
Thank you.
work. Yes.
Puerto Rico needs it. Okay.
You're
Good night.
welcome. Please look into stop being hypocritical for the cows. Let's do it
Okay,
sooner
yeah,
rather
instead
than
of
later.
cheese,
And when you walk on
instead
the
of
street, don't walk
cow's
on the
milk
grass,
cheese, plant milk
Cashew
cheese,
I know it. I can
and
make it.
ice cream.
Yeah.
We don't
Like
buy
we
it at
do-
home. We don't
yes.
buy it.
I haven't been
Just
persuaded that guacking in the grass is bad.
But then read a little bit about Jainism.
I will.
Okay? Read a little bit of Jainism.
course.
Yeah,
Yes.
the cow that you're exploiting still is
Minimalism
sentient.
is also another way to reduce the suffering in the world, right? Instead of using 5 bags, I could just use 1 bag.
Take care, guys. Vegans versus Jainists, man. That's a new one.
But they.
It was fun.
What
dude,
was
man.
the